Back in 2008, the hit action flick Taken was released. Despite its rather bland plot, it was a huge success, and 2 sequels were released soon after. For today's trivial item, we'll be checking out the third and final installment. The stories of these movies are remarkably easy to explain. Liam Neeson plays former government operative Brian Mills. In the first film, his daughter gets kidnapped in Paris, and he has to get her back. For part 2, his wife gets taken in Istanbul, and he has to get her back. For this final film, however, the Irish actor didn't want to do the same trick again and demanded a different plot.
First 2 films he was very much the hunter, and this one we've sort of turned it a bit. A little twist, and he's now the hunted. So the forces of law and order and CIA, of course, are after him as well. So he has to disappear, and he also has to, in disappearing, he has still got to be very proactive and try to find out who has committed this heinous crime against this family.
In the first 2 films, Neeson runs into trouble with an Albanian gang of human traffickers. For number 3, however, it's a bunch of Russian criminals that make his life miserable. It comes off as a bit random, though, if you ask us, as fans were certainly expecting the Albanians to seek revenge again. But it doesn't really matter when Liam's busy beating up the bad guys, and these fights seem to come quite naturally to him, as he used to be an amateur boxer himself. He once had to use his own particular set of skills when he was working as a teacher way back in the day. A student pulled a knife on him, for which Liam punched him in the face and got fired. The poor kid had no idea who he was up against. In this film, Neeson performs all his fights on his own, although he did get some tips from pros to make it look even better.
I have a stunt fight coordinator, Mark Vanslow, that we've done 16 films together now, so we work very, very closely together. Alan Figles was the French fight choreographer. He was on Tekken 2 and Tekken 3. He's an ex-Israeli Special Forces guy, so between the 2 of them, they bring a lot of stuff to the table, you know? And we try and change these fights from one film to the next to make them a bit more down and dirty and nasty, rather than do all this Jackie Chan stuff, which I can't do.
In the end, a lot of people went to watch Taken 3. On a $48 million production budget, it managed to rake in $326 million. Liam received a generous $20 million paycheck, but it seems to have paid off well for the studio. When it comes to the reviews, they were even worse than for the second chapter. So if you're unfamiliar with the Taken franchise, consider just watching the first one and skip numbers 2 and 3.